Well, there we go. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm PJ with the Web Mavericks, and welcome to another episode of Maverick Monday Marketing. And today, this week, it's a second week, so we're going to talk about AI. And I'm going to go through some stuff real quick, and then we'll open it up to questions. But what I want to go over today is we really want to talk about AI that makes running your business more easy, like less stressful, takes up less time. One of the first things that I want to talk about is how many people are actually using Notebook LM. So we did something real quick. I took my notes today and I put it all in here exactly what I wanted to talk about. And I had it make um, a slideshow. So we're going to use untested the slideshow from Notebook LM. And if you haven't used this little tool, there's so many AI tools, and we're going to cover a lot of them every month. So this you can upload any kind of information. So I can go over here and I can add more notes. I can upload conversations. I can post. Um, if I were to open up a new one, it would ask me to drop files or anything like that. Uh, but the one we got right here, I uploaded the outline for what I want to talk about is, the different AIs that can help you run your business. And we could build infographics and reports and audios, and it'll do little slide decks. It'll even do little video overviews. The difference between this is it's kind of like, giving all your work to a helper. You get a little bit of input. If you just want a helper that you can give it some instructions and let it go to town, that's great. You can't go in once you got a finished product. It's not like you can go in and tweak and say, "Hey, can you say this differently?" or anything like this. And the videos are pretty neat because they will come up with an entire script, and they're very good. But again, uh, I'm going to say that the very first thing with AI is that AI is like hiring a new receptionist, a new secretary, a new personal assistant. Um, if you hire someone to come help you out with your business and you never tell them a thing about your business, well, they're going to have to make stuff up. They're going to have to wing it. And that's what AI does. And so much stuff out there right now, like people try to do social media and stuff and go, "Hey, write me, I own a plumbing company. Write me 6 social media posts." If that's all you give it, you're just going to get stuff all over the place. So much like uh, we had a webinar about building brains, and we'll talk about them some other time again, but not today. Uh, this is kind of like the information I put in here, where I told it all told it what to do. That's what building a brain is. You're giving it information to go by. Yes, it can go out and find information, but the better information that you customize and give it, the better your AIs are going to work for you. So let's see what Notebook LM has for us in the slideshow here. So I did tell it we were going to talk about using AI and go high level. That wasn't the whole conversation, but it kind of took it as that. Um,
Hey PJ, or
yeah, go
can I
ahead.
for a quick second?
Sure.
I remember on Friday's call you mentioned Rita is like the one that deals with kind of the funnels,
Huh?
is this the Rita you were talking
This
about?
is the Rita I was talking about.
Yeah, I apologize. I just came from the gym, so I'm not
All
dressed
right.
professionally. But if I could just interrupt you for a minute.
Sure.
So you and I met at last week, and we met, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at Kearns, and we met at Kearns a few months ago. So I have an AI automation agency. So again, I was just kind of jumping on to kind of learn what you
Yep.
talk about with AI. Um, and so if Rita works with you, and I'm the only knucklehead in here, maybe I could save you an hour. I
No, no, this goes live on several different things. So
Okay, sorry about that. I'll shut up.
all right, it gets and then it gets posted to YouTube, it gets posted on LinkedIn, it gets everything. So there's people that log in and watch the replay and different stuff. I would say the smallest audience is probably the one that actually shows up live, but I get a lot of there's still people watching the one from a week ago and different stuff like that. But some great things if you have questions about automation, we do this every Monday, and the first Monday we talked about social media. The second Monday of the week we talk about AI. The third week, which is next week, we're going to talk all about automations. So we can get into them. So some of the biggest things that we're going to talk about here is how it can save you time. And we just recently had a new AI update last week, so that's why I wanted to jump into how it can help here. Um, so some of the biggest things that AI can do is when you have to take calls, and we do this a lot for especially service-oriented businesses. So if you're a plumber or if you're do garage door stuff like that, especially if you're a solopreneur or you have a small group, it's really hard to, answer the phone all the time. You may be hanging a garage door. You may be, digging a ditch out front. You may be running an electric line and stuff, and you can't do that. An AI receptionist and AI is some of the best things that you can use to do with this. So one of the things that and the biggest thing I always tell people too is the worst thing that could happen is you miss a call because they're not going to say, "Hey, well, I'm going to call back in 30 minutes to see." No, they're going to go to the next person on the list. So if there's any ways that you can interact, and one of the easiest things that AI does, especially in our Go High Level account, is they have missed call text back. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about speed, being a metric. And again, I put in the information. This is what Notebook LM popped out, which is pretty good. Graphics look good. I did give it some guidelines on that. It always knows to do more of a high-tech Western look for me. So, um, and what an AI receptionist can do is save you a ton of money. So, let's see what it has to here to say based on my notes. Revenue is a projected system, not just cool tech. That's true. Consistency, execution, reply fast, route smart, book clean, operate without payroll overhead. Well, that's one of the biggest things is that it works 24/7 and it doesn't take a break and it doesn't, require raises or anything. So, and this is a huge point. Speed to lead wins. That's very good. It is a lead catcher, and that's what I guarantee you, if your business isn't using some kind of AI receptionist by the end of the year, you're really going to be missing out. Every business needs this. And there's a couple different areas that we're going to talk about. Converts dead air to text conversation instantly, acknowledges the lead before they dial your competitor, routes by intent. Well, that's good. And oh, we're going to show this on the live one. So we are going to do a live demo of the new voice AI that we're deploying. So, um, frictionless scheduling based on your specific available. So you can, again, it's like hiring an assistant. You can program it to do whatever you want. You can tell it hours and stuff like the current AI that answers the phone on the Web Mavericks. It does come to me. It goes to Rita. It goes to a couple different people. If nobody answers, the AI tries to answer it. And we're upgrading our voice AI this week. This is why I wanted to demo it today. But something easy in there that I put in is like I had people that were having a hard time. They wanted to talk to a human. They didn't want to talk to the AI. So I programmed it to say if they said that or if they said, let me speak to PJ, it instantly, right then and there, transfers it to me. So you can do stuff like that. You can tell it hours. Um, the new one's going to really get very sophisticated and talk about when I might be available, when Rita's might be available, when anybody else on the team, or how to get in touch with us. Um, and it can actually book calls. I haven't had a lot of people use this feature, but it does work on the AI. If you ask to book a call, it will go to my calendar and book a call. It collects, I try to have it collect as much information as possible, but I don't want it to be overbearing where it, is asking tons of questions. They just want an answer. Uh, so let's see. Um, and it does connect. So we get into the chat. The chat's a really great feature because the chat can talk to, and this does really well on my social medias. So the chat bot in there will go and answer questions on Facebook and Instagram. I love how it points out, like everybody, all you got to do is run an ad on Facebook and you'll get 16 messages about, you've uh, you've broken meta compliance and you need to click this link right now. They're all spam and they're all scams. And my AI bot knows it instantly, and it steers them right to. It's like, well, if you were legit Meta representative, you wouldn't say this, and your link is going to a bad place, and here's the right place to report yourself. So I think it's pretty interesting that it does that, right? But an AI can also help qualify some leads and push to the appointment. And there's only 12 slides in here, so I just thought I'd kind of go through them and then we'll get into more very specific stuff. So, and one of the biggest things, if you're running a service business, you're running anything, answers calls 24/7 to handle common intents. And one of a recent development with us is we had a customer here last month that we were running ads for. And it drove me bananas that 80% of the calls went unanswered. At least an AI receptionist would have told them something. And you could program it to tell you all kinds of different informations. The new one for us is going to talk all about our packages and be able to tell you about them and tell you different things it does and all that. Uh, I've started programming it today when it came out. And it can book appointments for plumbers. It can do all kinds of stuff. I sat through a demo of it completely taking an order for a very customized gluten-free pizza, and it was amazing how it answered all the questions. Um, and not only that, but the information, as long as we collect the name and address or email or anything that it asks, it'll put that right into the CRM. So we always get that as much information as we can. One of the biggest things I think with a voice one is to make sure it's not too intruding, that it's just asking question after question. And it wants to sound real enough to get the job done. And you guys can tell me that in a couple of minutes when we jump on a live demo call here. So, and then from the voice, it can send reminder SMSs, texts, emails. It can ask it to confirm stuff. It can auto rebook. All of this is built into the AI. So, and it's not meant to do everything. There are some great sales bots and there's some great output now. It's not going to replace everybody. This is a great example. Let it do the 80% and then hand it off so that you can close the sale, right? And you get instant notification. Now, our chat bot that I have, Goose, he's going to get updated too. Poor guy. He's been around forever and he's talked to a lot of people. There's a couple of people have had entire conversations with them. I always try to make sure, when he talks to him that he tells them that he's an AI, but we're going to get a lot better stuff in there now with a whole bunch of new scripts that we're going to program in there. But the fun part is like I'll have people say, I wish I could talk to a human. And with our Go High Level system, uh, everything is synced. So I see all the conversations. We have a all-in-one communication center. So anytime somebody calls, texts, chats on the website, chats live, emails, chats on any of the social medias, it's all in one place. So you could literally call me, hang up, and then go to the website and chat with me, and then go to Facebook and chat with me, and then text me. And it's all those conversations would continue in my app on the same thing. And it has a phone app that syncs, so I get the conversation in real time. So I can pick up, and there's a lot of times AI will get in there, and I have mine delayed. I think it's like 5 minutes. If somebody texts me out of the blue, so that if I or someone on the team doesn't see it, then AI will jump in. But if not, we can always answer and it overrides and the AI won't talk. But there's a lot of times you'll see if you text me that AI will talk to you and then I'll jump in and say, hey, it's PJ. We can get that done or we can do this or anything like that. So there's that notification. And then all right. So let's see. Should we go right to the live call? Because I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see who we have on here. Um, Let me get that fired up. I think I did that in a different window. All right, here we go. All right. All right, Rita, we're gonna make you a plumber. You want to be a plumber? What kind of occupation do you want to be, Rita?
Oh, yeah, plumber, great.
Okay.
Welcome to Thinker. I'm Ava and I'm excited to chat with you. What's your name?
Yeah, this is PJ with the Web Mavericks, and I have Rita on the line here with me. She's with Friendly Neighborhood Plumbers.
Hi, PJ. Hi, Rita. It's great to meet both of you. Thanks for introducing yourselves, and I love the business names, by the way. What brings you to Thinker today?
Well,
Are you looking to?
I'd like to know if you could tell me how the AI receptionist can really help us. How could it help Rita run Friendly Neighborhood Plumbers?
Absolutely, PJ. I'd love to show you how AI, specifically the Ava platform, can make a real difference for Rita and friendly neighborhood plumbers. Here's how Ava can help a plumbing business like Rita's one, answering calls 24/7. Ava can handle incoming calls anytime, so Rita never misses a customer, even after hours or during busy periods. Two, booking appointments. Ava can schedule service calls directly into Rita's calendar, making it easy for customers to book plumbing
Well,
appointments with.
Ava, what if it's an emergency and they don't want to book an appointment?
Great question, PJ. And no worries on the name. Ava, like Ava. If a caller has an emergency and doesn't want to book a regular appointment, Ava can be set up to recognize urgent situations. Here's how it works. Emergency routing. Ava can listen for keywords like emergency, flood, or urgent. When it hears those, it can immediately offer to connect the caller to Rita or her on-call team, bypassing the normal booking process. Custom instructions. You can customize Ava's responses. So if someone says, I have a burst pipe, Ava can respond with, let me get you help right away, and either transfer the call or send an alert to Rita's team.
Well,
Never miss a call.
let me ask another quick question. So, what if they make an appointment? If they make an appointment for tomorrow, will you call them in the morning to remind them?
Absolutely, PJ. That's a really smart question. Yes, Ava can automatically call customers with appointment reminders. If someone books a plumbing appointment for tomorrow, Ava can be set up to call them in the morning or whenever you prefer to remind them about their scheduled service. This helps reduce no shows and keeps Rita's schedule running smoothly. You can even customize the reminder message, and Ava can confirm if the customer is still available or needs to reschedule. It's all about making things easier for
All
both.
right, it's a lot of AI jargon here, and we're kind of overwhelming my audience a little bit. Could you just tell us a funny joke real quick?
Of course, PJ. Sometimes you just need a laugh to break up all the tech talk. Here's one for you and Rita. Why did the plumber win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field, but his boss told him to get back in the house and fix the leak. Let me know if you want to dive back into the AI stuff. Or if you need another joke, I've got plenty.
I think we'll just go back to the AI stuff. So tell me, how can you really help us save time?
Great question, PJ. Let's keep it simple and practical. Here's how Ava can help Rita and her team save time at Friendly Neighborhood Plumbers 1. No more phone tag. Ava answers calls instantly so you don't have to chase voicemails or play phone tag with customers. Every call gets handled even when you're busy on a job. 2. Automatic scheduling. Ava can book, confirm, and reschedule appointments without anyone on your team having to pick up the phone. That means less time on admin, more time fixing pipes. 3. Follow ups and reminders. Ava sends out appointment reminders and follow up calls automatically so you don't have to remember to check in with customers or remind them about their appointments. 4. Lead qualification. Ava can ask a few quick questions to find out if a caller is a new customer, what kind of plumbing issue they have, and how urgent it is. So you only spend time on the calls
So
that really need.
what about rates? What if, can we give you certain specials or prices for different normal items that pe or services that people call in for?
Great questions, PJ. 1. About rates. If you're asking about our pricing for the Ava platform,
No,
check
no,
the terms.
I'm asking if for the plumbing, can we give you the rates that Friendly Neighborhood Plumber would charge? And would you be able to quote people over the phone?
Thanks for clarifying, PJ. Yes, you absolutely can provide Ava with your specific rates or specials for friendly neighborhood plumbers. Here's how it works. Custom pricing. You can give Ava a list of your standard services and their prices, like drain cleaning, leak repair, etc., as well as any current specials or discounts. Quoting over the phone, Ava can share those prices with callers during the conversation. For example, if someone asks how much
Okay.
a faucet.
Okay, I think we get that. So do you also work for other types of business? So if I had like a retail store, would you work for that?
Absolutely, PJ. Ava isn't just for plumbers. She's designed to help all kinds of small and medium businesses, including retail stores. For a retail store, Ava can answer customer calls and provide store hours, directions, or product information, take messages or route urgent calls to the right team member, handle appointment scheduling for services like personal shopping or in store events, share information about current promotions or specials,
All right.
even follow.
I think we got the gist. I thank you very much.
You're so welcome, PJ and Rita. It was a pleasure chatting with you both. If you ever want to explore more or have questions, just reach out.
So what did you guys think? Did that feel pretty natural?
Well, I like that she had intonation in her voice. It went up and down, and she seemed to have more enthusiasm at sometimes, which is mimics natural human speech. I like that part.
I mean, there's definitely a couple holes in it where there's like some pauses and stuff. But I purposely, if you noticed, interrupted her every time.
Yes, I
Because
wondered what was going to happen when you did that.
that's one of the worst things I hate, is I get these calls for Medicare and this and that, and it's like you got to wait for it to kind of end. It's not, they're not interactive. They're just, well, those aren't AI receptionists. Those are programmed well, they're kind of like the first version of it, kind of like the Terminator when it came out with the first version. Um, they're programmed to say a whole message and then they wait for a response. And the very early ones of these there was only so many responses that you put in. This is getting more into where it can have interactive conversations with you.
Yes.
Uh, and I like to be very upfront about telling people when it is an AI. So I would have it, like the one we use for our voice is called Sky. I like to, or Goose is our chat one. I like them to let them know up front, but they can help you a lot and they can answer questions and all that. But again, the biggest part is putting in uh, the behind the scenes, putting in all the information so that it has the answers. Um, so any questions? Any questions about the voice? I thought that this upgrade's pretty cool. And it does outbound, it does inbound, it does all of that.
That is really interesting. So we can tell it to put a little announcement at the beginning, especially on an outbound call, to say, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm an AI assistant for Rita,"
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I would do. That way it's just more upfront. Now you still get people that no matter what they say, they'll want to opt out of it.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I think, having some phrasing in there after that says, hey, at least try me out. I'm very advanced. And, probably with our own at the Web Mavericks, we'll probably do something sarcastic, like it's more advanced than, the latest Terminator or something. Uh, but that's the live demo for the voice.
But I want to hear what Eric thinks.
You know what? I'll be honest with you.
Mhm.
I took a phone call and missed everything you just said.
Oh
So
no.
I watched it on the replay. But I am very familiar and inbound, outbound agents, we have a lot of success with them. I, some clients don't want it to say it's an AI assistant, because you don't have to. There's supposed to be some regulation changes on outbound where you have to do that. Um, and other clients like it to say it's an AI assistant. Um, we find tremendous success with it. I mean, it's all on how you build the prompting. It's all about knowledge bases.
Mhm.
Um, it's all about, picking voices that don't sound robotic. But, I heard you talking about how, you did have outbound for speed the lead piece. Yeah, I mean, it's all everything I'm sure he said. Like I said, I missed a chunk of it there, 6, 7, 8 minutes of it. But I'm sure it's all in line with what I would say.
So no problem. And there's so many different voices and different stuff that you can choose from. Um, so let's go over some other items that we can do with AI. So we're going to talk specifically about what we do inside our business here. So let me just get that all the way up to the top. So we have AI agents that are built into Go High Level here. that, first you just heard a voice example, and this is the advanced model. You can take a basic model and train it, but there's conversational AIs, and this whole part has expanded a lot more. So you can get a lot more interesting conversations, and probably in about by next week you'll see on the Web Mavericks, because we got our newest agents and stuff. We're going to be programming them all this week. I was just literally going, playing with some of it today, but you can go in here and you can make different stuff. I do know we're going to go into more stuff the next time we do AIs. We're going to talk about how to make clones, because I've been doing that too. I've been cloning myself, and how to do your voice and all that. But much like I talked about in our webinar, we talk about making brains. So you have to give your AI agent a brain. So you have to upload everything you can. So we have what we call knowledge bases here. And there shouldn't be anything in here because this is a dummy account. Let's see if I can actually get it to load though. And this is where you go. So this is some demo stuff that I've been putting in here so that it has knowledge bases of different things of what to do. So you can go and you can crawl. So if you have a lot of information on your website, or say you're a dealer for a manufacturer, you can have it crawl the website to get all kinds of information. We can also upload all kinds of frequently asked questions. We can build out tables, enrich tables, and we can upload files. This is where I go in and I start putting in different things that I want it to do. You could put its personality in and all kinds of stuff. In fact, we'll go through that in a second. So there's all kinds of templates in here for doing, whether it's voice or chat. I must have a slower connection today because it's not loading real quick.
Hey PJ, so this is all built off of Go High Level? Are
Yep.
you familiar with VAPI or retail?
With what?
VAPI or retail
Oh,
AI?
yeah.
Okay, so this is all specific to Go High Level then.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the agents can be used in just about anything, but we're trying, you know, our whole model is based around high level and using the CRM and the stuff. So even if you're using another website builder or anything like that, there's still a lot that we can pull into here.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just going to walk through this a little bit. So whether it's conversational or voice, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to build an agent. You're going to give it a name. Now we can do when I was first doing this about a year, probably over a year ago, when I built Goose, um, I didn't have all these options, so it was all here. So now you could do a lot more different stuff. Like you can have one bot that's good at answering questions, and one for appointment booking, and one for doing different stuff. Now, where that would come in handy is because I may not you want to use the same AI agent on every platform. So I probably am going to build like a Facebook Goose now, and I'm going to build a chat bot. And we're actually building out a separate mini website for support that has some videos in there. The biggest reason I want to do that is because on that support page, I want to put a completely different AI chatbot in there that has all kinds of advice programmed into it that can help answer stuff. And I don't want it to be, pitchy or salesy. Um, but as you put these on here, there's a lot of different. So here's some examples that we're putting in here. Um, this is gonna and I'm gonna build probably 3 or 4 different sample sites so that people can call, they can interact with the AI agent and all that. For the voice one, you can actually what is yeah, we don't want that right now. So there's ones we can buy and we can make custom ones. Uh, more get smart. We need Agent 99. Um, but you can actually pick.
Hey, Worldly 11 Labs friends, let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
We can pick different uh different ones in here, so we can go. Let's see,
The 90s were fun because it was a time.
Dakota.
Okay, so this might sound silly, but
It all depends.
Sharing kindness is like a gentle breeze.
All depends how you want your voice to
the storm that changed her.
sound like. I'm not sure everything's right.
Stillness of contemplation. The universe whispers its secrets.
That'd be pretty deep.
Donovan's deep voice is the sound of articulate.
It's all how
This
you.
voice model is perfect for capturing the essence of a hyper-real conversational.
That's not too bad. Now, if you know anything about doing AI, the what did she say? It's Lab 11.
Worldly 11 Labs friends.
11 Lab, yeah. So that's the one that is one of the best one. We're going to talk about that next month because that's how you want to clone your own voice. And you could absolutely go in there, clone your own voice, and load it into here. So if you really want it, it's going to get to the point where, I could have me or Rita answer the phone and we won't even be here. It'll be our voice, and that'll do it for us. So I'm not going to go through all of it because we try to hang around 30 to 60 minutes here, but you can start to give it personality. And I'm a big proponent of AI training AI. So if you use ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, any of those, I like to have one program the other. So I will take what I want to do and I won't put it straight in here. I'll probably put it into ChatGPT or something like that and say, hey, could you reword this so that an AI agent will understand it better? Because, like I said, AI, I'm a big believer of AI knows AI. So we do that because I do a lot of the same thing for image prompts. I may have one AI write an image prompt for another one. In fact, the reason that this came out these colors is because I asked ChatGPT to put some direction into Notebook LM to say, hey, can you make sure that it gives me that Maverick high-tech Western look? And it spit that out. So basically what we could do, we have it answer the phone. These bots in here, the conversation ones, we could put them on your website so that they pop up. Bringing up an example. And this is a year old now. So here's Goose, and it was beep beep. I'm going to get a little more sophisticated at that. As I made sure that it comes up as the assistant. That's probably worn out its welcome at this point. It was funny when we did it over a year ago, but now that we're getting a lot more sophisticated with stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that people knew that they were talking to a bot. So we're probably going to change that one out and give him a remake. The biggest place, we use it for that. We definitely use it for social media. One of the other things that, especially if you have high level, that's people don't use a lot. So in here we have go to the settings. So for reviews, and this is a dummy account again. So I just don't use live accounts because I never know if I'm going to accidentally pop up somebody's personal information. But one of the neat thing you could see right here, there's an AI employee, they call it. And one of the neat things that it'll do is respond. So we can have every review that is out there, we can have it respond to it. And there's a lot of reviews that you can do. Everybody's used to Facebook and Google, which you could set up here, but maybe it's in settings here. We can actually have the AI respond to stuff on Amazon and Airbnb, and if you do DoorDash, it can respond to it. Of course, we already talked about Facebook. All of these can be integrated into the reviews and to the review AI. So it's not just chat. It's not just on your website. It's not just voice. We could definitely have it out there during reviews. And then, I want to talk about the receptionist part, but there is a lot more tools in here too. Like if you're into the marketing and you connect all your stuff, you could absolutely have this won't show anything wrong. So if we go to BizGrow here, well, that should be connected, but sometimes I got to do that. If I want to make a new post here, there's a lot of AI that's built into, let's say we're just going to do a Facebook. I can have AI go here and help me write it. I can have it, if we want to put an image, I can use AI to do the image. So there's a lot of stuff. The thing I caution again, like we talked about with building a brain, because all of AI is going to get to the point where every house looks the same. Every street looks the same. If everybody under the sun is doing the same thing and going to ChatGTP or going to an AI and saying, "Hey, write me, 16 social posts." There's a science behind it, and just putting junk out there isn't going to work. You really need to know that you're addressing your customers. You need to know that you're solving a problem. You need to know that you're speaking your voice, and that's the hardest part when people put a lot of this stuff out there. And even with what we do a lot of social media posting, and sometimes I have a tendency to write everything, and then I may have AI tweak it into a certain voice. And if I try real hard to talk to the customers to get their voice, and one of the hardest problems for me is when they don't want to give me anything, but you want to make sure that it's speaking your voice. But so that's basically my show and tell about how AI can help you answer calls and run your business. I'm open for any questions if you have any.
PJ, what do you find the usage cost to be per minute on a voice agent?
Well, it depends. Uh, it's a couple cents a minute right now. I think there's some higher end ones that are as high as I think 9 cents is the highest I've seen so far. Even the chat, it's a fraction of a cent for every time it interacts. So you want to make sure that you're not letting it have, all day conversations. One of the funniest things is if you get one chat talking to another, they just keep going.
Yeah.
So,
And what do you find from on the outbound agent with regard to voicemail detection?
what do you mean by that?
Like if the AI is making an outbound call,
Hmm. Oh,
picks
if
up
it's
voicemail. If the
oh,
person's a voicemail picks up.
well, that's actually a great question because before it's done a decent job, but I'm going to test this new one, and I really want to see if it can catch on that it's a voicemail so that it can do that. That's a great test for this week with the newest version that just came out. I
Cool.
will definitely post the results when I know. But I'll have it do it. I'll make it call me and leave a message. So. That's the one thing about this new update is and you can go back and watch the demo call we did. It's really good at knowing when it gets interrupted, knowing when stuff is going on. So it's doing a much better job at that.
Yeah, I feel like we are all, I feel like AI is still a slippery slope right now
Hmm.
with customers and people on the receiving end of AI that don't want to deal with AI, especially if you are a B2C company. B2B companies, I think we're embracing it much faster. But if you are dealing with the general public, then you're going to run into a whole lot of people that don't want to talk to an AI. And
Well,
so,
I
therefore, that's why I highly encourage my clients to declare it. up front.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how good you program it, because I think we get feedback when it works well that they love it. It's when it's choppy and they still can't get their answer, and it's the old adamant of like,
Yeah.
there's still chatbots over there, and you tell it the same thing, and it just does a loop over and over again, and it doesn't take
Mhm.
you anywhere. And I
Mhm.
think, I can tell when they haven't updated their AI agent in a long time, because any decent um chatbot will recognize when it's looping now. And
Yeah.
and there's so many that don't. And to me, it's kind of like, just getting used to stuff. Nobody liked the self-check at the grocery store, and now I actually avoid the lines. I'd rather do that. It's just, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing, and it's
Well, and when people talk to me, because I teach about AI and I talk about AI a
Mhm.
lot, so they give me feedback whether I ask for it or not. And what really is the crux of it, what they're telling me is if they knew it was an AI, they would be fine. But they're having an entire conversation with someone that they think is a person, and then they find out at the end that it's not a person, and that just gets in their craw.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just,
I think you don't want to be deceptive.
yeah,
And that's why I said, personally with mine, um, I'm going to make sure that the voice tells it right up front that, I'm an assistant, I'm here to help you. And
yeah,
I'm probably going to put some lines in there when they go, "Oh, I just want to talk to you," to ask it to, "Hey, try me out." You
yeah,
know, I'm pretty good at this, try me out. I'll come up with some sarcasm in there, I'm sure, to
yeah,
help out with it. But
yeah. And the resistance, I believe, will diminish very quickly and exponentially. The resistance will diminish. I mean, people didn't like voicemail message machines when they first came out
yeah,
either.
I look at it like that. So, but I
And
honestly believe there won't be a business that doesn't have some form
mhm.
of AI receptionist by the end of the year. I mean, you're going to be in lost. I mean,
Well, that's the thing.
people
You'll fall far behind very quickly, and just that's going to be exponentially as well. Yeah,
if nothing else, it's the newest version of a voicemail. It's
right.
advanced voicemail, and you can't imagine having a business that doesn't have voicemail now. At least there's some. I
Exactly.
understand, but there are some. Um, but at least this can inform them in an intelligent decision. What's going on and what happened. So, all right. Any other questions? I'm sure we'll get some feedback after I post this, because I think the demo was pretty cool.
Well, and I loved how you demoed your results that you got from Notebook LM, even blind to you. Just here it is. This is what it
Although
gave me.
although I did
So,
just take a picture of this and it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, did you actually make a QR code for me?
let me try
So
that.
I'm guessing that's a sample to tell me to put a QR code in there. But I had the spot for it.
Yeah, it didn't, mine's not picking it up
Yeah,
as a valid QR
there's nothing.
code.
But I like the idea. I'm like, I'm gonna be pretty impressed, because I don't think I gave it a link to my booking page. So, alrighty. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'll add something for anybody else that hasn't ever done that before. So let me just say, if you had questions about Notebook uh, LM, stands for uh, language model, and every AI is an LLM, a large language model. So if you log into any Google and you come to your little button up here, and there's so many tools they're adding these days. I mean, it used to be just a handful, but
It's on the bottom row. There it is.
you will find it down at the bottom. Oh, look, I can even have more. Huh. Well, anyhow, if you wanted to try it out, it's free to try out. You go back here, open it up, and it's going to ask you to create a new one. It'll give you some samples if you want to go, and this is where you upload. And then once you upload, you can start making audios and infographics, reports, all this little stuff. It's kind of like I look at it as the next wave of like Microsoft's Office. It's kind of doing some stuff for you.
Mhm.
So,
Well, and here's an important distinction between Notebook LM and all the other ones that people are, wait, if you leave that up there.
I'm gonna delete.
The ones that's very different from ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity because you need to upload material for it to use to build you something. And it does not have to be your own material. I was using Notebook LM recently, and in the area where it says to upload in that bottom left side there, or right there in the middle, in the top in the middle.
When you first start, it has this here.
Okay, so I put in 3 YouTube videos that they're not mine. They were YouTubers who were teaching everyone how to build an effective pipeline. And
So you
I
link to it like this.
I linked to there's 3, yep, there are 3 links in there. And I said, using this knowledge, I gave it the knowledge about how to build a pipeline by using those videos. And then I said, give me an infographic telling my client how great it's going to be when I build him a pipeline. And this is the client, this is what they sell, this is how, I'm going to serve them. But I gave Notebook LM everything it needed to know about how to build a pipeline. And then I said, describe how amazing it's going to be when I build this for this client. And it did a very good job.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very impressed with how it's like deductive reasoning is, because you give it some guidelines, but it kind of really thinks on its own, and it's done a good job. But alrighty, well, if we don't have any other questions, that is the show.
Thanks,
Coming to you.
PJ.
Yes, one more. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you.
Oh, good. Coming to you here live from the arcade lounge in the arcade building downtown Knoxville. So we do have a webinar. We're talking this coming Thursday. We're going to be explaining, how social media has changed in 2026. You can find links to all of this stuff on our website or our Facebook page. Facebook's probably a little easier to find it. Next week, we will have Rita front and center as we talk about automations, especially since our first Go High Level class was all the questions were about automation. So we'll make sure to get our Go High Level people back on and she could talk more about that. And any questions, at any time for anything, post it in one of our Facebook groups, and we'll make sure to cover it. All right. You guys have a
Awesome.
great day.
Thank you, PJ.
All right.